Hi everyone. Hello, a very good evening. Hi Nidhi, hi Priyanka. Thanks for joining in. Today we are going to be doing a session with Neelakshi Singh, who is a body positivity influencer. And this is a part of our Unstereotype with Lxme campaign. It's been a great month. We've had some amazing sessions with some brilliant women, lots of learning through masterclasses, live sessions, panel discussions. So hope that you've been a part of this journey. And today, like I said, we're doing a session with Neelakshi on body positivity. And tomorrow we have a masterclass with Devika Patel on how to grow your business from scratch. So if any of you out there watching this right now have a great idea but don't know where to start, do join us tomorrow. You can register now. It's a free workshop. Also spread the word. So you learn how to create a business plan, go about executing your idea, scaling it, and setting up your own business. So we're just waiting for Neelakshi to join in. She is a very interesting person. It'll be great to have this chat with her. And especially in today's day and age where the beauty standards are really going out of control, we're going to get real and talk about what real beauty really means. So if you guys have any questions for Neelakshi, do drop in the questions on the chat. We will be taking up some questions as well as we carry on with our conversation. All right. Hi, Ria, if you're there, can you please check with Neelakshi when she's going to be joining us? Hi everybody. Hello, Sunita. Thanks for joining. All right, while you guys are still here, let me ask you a question. Hi, Roshni. When I say beauty, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Why don't you just type it in the comment section and tell me the first word and be honest. Me. Nidhi says me. That's the first word that comes to her mind. Shruti says confidence. Chanchal says moon. Varsha says character. Wow, I think that's really powerful. Some very interesting answers. Power. Ria says power. I think it's so great to see that beauty means different things to different people. Nivi says happiness. Wow, Priyanka has taken us into an existential spiral. She says, can beauty ever be defined? Very interesting, Priyanka. I think that's what we're going to discuss today, that, it may be defined, but there's no one standard definition, right? Which I think today's world has really stereotyped, but there is no one definition. Beauty can mean different things to different people. Yes, Hina says strength. Hi, Neelakshi is here. She's going to be sending a request very soon. All right.
Hi, Lakshmi.
Hi, Neelakshi. Hi, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I just got back home. So sorry, guys, I made you wait, but I hope this is gonna be good.
No, it's okay, not too late. I actually asked a very interesting question while we were waiting for you. I asked all the viewers, what does beauty mean to you? And we got some very interesting answers. Yes, people
Okay.
said strength, people said confidence, power. Someone said me. The first thing that came to their mind was me, which is also amazing. That's some great self-confidence.
I know. Where were you? Why didn't we have you in our lives? Like, I love that answer.
When all these conversations about beauty were happening.
Interesting. Exactly, right? Like, kahan the aap? I wish that conversation was something that we had during the whole childhood thing, and it was portrayed in like ads, and it would just be normal. So imagine we wouldn't have like any issues.
I know
Just
we wouldn't
not
be
there.
having this conversation about
Exactly.
unstereotyping it because it wouldn't have been stereotyped in the first place. Fair and lovely,
I know.
which is really unfair. Yeah. All right. So, Neelakshi, thank you so much for joining us today. And we're very excited about this session with you as a part of the Lxme Unstereotype. For everyone who's joined us, Lxme is India's first financial platform exclusively for women. And through this campaign, we're really highlighting stories of women who have broken barriers, broken stereotypes to achieve their dreams. And like Neelakshi really unstereotypes what beauty means, Lakshmi unstereotypes that women cannot manage their own money. So, all right. So, Neelakshi, let's talk a little bit about you. You teach fashion at Pearl
Mhm.
Academy, and you started your Instagram handle, Plump, to pretty, by the way, really, really cute name. So,
Thank you.
what was the journey like, and what really made you start this, this handle in the first place?
I think the handle really started out of a heartbreak, and I think it's a little too long of a story, but just to cut it short and just to, get to know that it was
Mm-hmm.
literally just a heartbreak of probably a childhood crush, but also about how you thought people saw you, and and you basically you start viewing yourself from their purviews, right? And that's when you feel like, oh, I'm not really good enough, and that's really where it started from. So a girl who probably just posted a picture of her eye on Awkward back then. We had another social media platform, Awkward, and oh my God, I feel so old saying that.
Orchid days, yeah,
I
far,
know.
far behind us now.
So back then and then now, just to doing just getting to be ourselves on the platform and just being appreciated or being validated by like-minded people. I don't think I'd imagined this for myself or ever thought that this would be something that would be happening. So the journey has definitely been only uphill for me. There are days when you totally doubt yourself, but I think you just come in, get some validation here, and you have that talk. One unexpected DM, probably a direct message in your account, or a comment, actually does so much more of, it repairs the damage work that has been done for years. I know it sounds so superficial, but it works like magic. And I call my people the unicorn tribe, because that is not something that you possibly imagined. And then you're like, okay, wow, but that actually made me feel good. How is it even happening? So I think that's probably the way that I've come across and build this community that I'm super super proud of. And people are like, okay, we are here for you, and I'm there for them. So yeah, I think that's basically how I would sum it up.
You call it the unicorn community or the unicorn people. It's like it that's how unreal you thought it is, right? Today, what you're doing, or that's how unexpected it was. You never probably thought that I could actually do this because of the entire societal construct around beauty standards or the societal construct around stereotyping. So, what made you actually, go out there and be like, what? No, like this is who I am. I am actually going to own it, and I'm going to make something out of it. And this really doesn't define me at the end of the day.
So I think you constantly need a push, and I was definitely no different. For me, I came from eating disorder, which was really hard for me to share because my parents didn't accept it. Even now, if you ask them the question, like, why did why was Nilakshi like MIN? This is a question that even probably my closest relatives today asked, that, where she was for some months and all of that. It's not very easy for them to say that she was seeking therapy, or she was, away rehabilitating herself in some sense to just get back to the normalcy, which is regarded as normal. So it was almost like very shameful. It's literally something that we never bring up at like dinner conversations and everything, and that's why it feels so unreal that the whole push that you kind of had. I think for me it was my best friend, and he basically envisioned me. And the first picture that I put out in 2012, and that just went on a blog post. And then I remember having these comments where they saying, oh my god, you look so pretty, you look so confident, you should wear that dress more often, we want to see more pictures. And it's like, what are these, like, who are these people? Are they like paying, do we have to pay them? How does this work? It was legit so new. Like, the whole idea of body positivity was like, bro, like, can people actually love themselves? Is that actually happening? So, I would see Ashley Graham and I would see Tess Holiday. I'm like, kya kar rahe log? And then that's when my best friend possibly said that, this is how I see you and you should do more of this. And that's really where we started from. So he's been a constant push. And I think that is where it really starts from. And we've just been there for each other. And not just, whatever community that I've built here has honestly reflected a lot in my personal life. It's not only just given me this whole parallel career where I can actually call myself a plus size model, because I mean, horrors that I just call myself model and I get that look model, like real life, like person, right? Real person. Like those are the instances that we get, when we are doing shows like Lxme. Even models would come up to us, the runway models, and they would touch us and they would go like, oh, so is this what real being feels like? And it's just so condescending to both of us, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
and you're just standing there and you don't know what to say, but that's how people are addressing. Real models come here, and then you have got the runway models. So it's literally something that we see throughout, even after whatever that we've been doing, whatever progress we've been making. There's still a massive divide. But I think, having said that, I've been super lucky. I've made this community, I've made these friends who've got my back, and I know I have got them. So when I actually say that, this affects me, and this is actually, the thought is depressing, uh, they come in and they actually get the feeling without being dismissed, which was not so when I think about it, discussing with my parents or with my relatives or with my cousins, because the mindset is so.
Right. And I think, when you spoke about, like, calling you the real model, and, the models come and the real models come, there's still, like, of course, we see that there's a lot of representation that happens, right, to show diversity. So you'll have, and we spoke about this, like, you'll have a dark skinned
Yeah.
girl. I mean, whatever people are actually selling today, right? They'll have the dark skinned girl, they'll have the curly haired girl, and then they'll have the plump girl, right? Do you feel, and to what extent are things actually changing, and to what extent is this really just token representation in your
I
experience?
honestly, in absolutely, like, I can only speak for myself, and that's what I would want to say it out here. So, however thankful I am for the opportunities, and it takes on, like, I'm probably going on a leg to say this out there, but the people that are there in the industry, it's just a hot wave that they're riding. It's a token representation that we're still seeing. Every brand, whether be it from healthy eating company, or probably they're manufacturing leggings that you don't want to be seen through, or whether it's cosmetics or shower gels, everything has this whole token representation. And like we discussed, there's going to be one curly haired girl, there's going to be one northeastern, feature girl, and then obviously the plump. And the plump has to be in the least amount of clothes, because God forbid she cannot love herself with full makeup and full clothes. So I definitely think that is something that's riding. But I'm very happy to be part of this, because at least baatein to ho rahi hai. People
Right.
are bringing this up. We are discussing it. At least we are visible. I look at somebody and I'm like, okay, that's somebody that I want to be like. I want to have that confidence because it doesn't feel as unnatural today to be putting yourself out there because you do see women like you. So I think that is definitely a wave that I want to be in, and I hope that tokenism, kahin na kahin, it brings about that change. And I think you have to really fake it till you make it. So it is literally boiled down to that for me as well. Like you have to keep on showing that there is so much happening for you. There is space for every person. Like I don't think disability is something that we show very openly now. So again, that is something that's going to be, probably the next trend that's going to be coming on in, and people would want to jump that bandwagon. So again, consumerism and capitalism is like a whole other world to work with. But yes, token representation, tokenism is definitely happening. But having said that, I do want to be a part of it. I do want to be, at the end of the day, I would do want to be known as, okay, a change maker. She did something. She did something for herself. And if even if it's like, and people, they think कि तुम क्या समझते हो? तुम मतलब इतने छोटे से नंबर को लेके इतनी खुश हो, and you are driving the conversation, तुम्हें लग रहा है क्या पता नहीं तुम कर रही हो. I'm like, even if that one girl who's probably affected, probably seeing me in class or probably listening to me here and decides to like herself even a little bit, that is achievement for me. That works for me.
Absolutely, you're a part of the drive, and even if it is token representation, I think there is some impact that that is happening, which is why we're having this conversation today, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we probably
Yeah.
wouldn't. Great. So, Neelakshi, tell me something very enlightening that we spoke about earlier. By the way, everyone who's here, Neelakshi calls body positivity BOPO, because that's how much she has heard of this term and that's how much she has to use this term. So now it's just plain BOPO. Like, yeah, you want to talk about BOPO? Let's talk about BOPO.
I am so embarrassed that you're bringing this up in the conversation, but like I was so done with it. Everybody is just like, yo, body positivity ke angles dikhate hain. And what does that really mean? They'll have the same So I go on to an editorial shoot, and they have these like 5 different body types, the representation that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Then the magazine actually comes out for the print. Everybody has the same skin tone. We've all been whitewashed. I've been made darker. People have been made fair, and we're all the same skin tone, and we're airbrushed. And there goes your bopo. So I am.
But I think when you said that beyond body positivity lies body neutrality, right? I want you to speak a little bit more about that, because I personally find that concept very interesting, and I would want to adapt to that thought process myself.
Yeah. Okay, so I have someone say that in the comments.
This can become your thing, Bopo.
I think I should now. This is interesting.
You should trademark it.
I love that he's come up with the side also.
Yeah,
So that's okay, so Ravi, you've given us a good laugh. So more about, body neutrality is something that I've been reading up since one of these panels that I possibly did. And that's where another blogger, another content creator, Supriya Joshi, she came up and she was talking about it. And that really just got me thinking as to what is it really that, body neutrality really means. Because it's everywhere. Like whatever product that I'm buying today is saying, I love myself, I embrace myself. But who is saying how? How are you doing it? Like, that is my question. And that is something.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, initially I used to be, in this rush, and I used to be, yeah, you got to work on yourself, you got to put in the work and all of that. But I think as the years, and I've been doing this since 2012, so it can get on to a little bit to you. It's literally 21 now. And then when people say, ma'am, I want to be a model, I want to be positive like you. And then I'm like, bro, I'm dead inside. I don't even believe in myself anymore. Forget, advocating the idea. So yes, I can be bubbly and all of that, but in the end, I am much more human. And that's why probably that's a concept that's working out better for me now that I think about it, because I'm not wanting to hate my body. I'm going to be okay with whatever it is. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're a living, breathing object. You can just be thankful for that. You're very able bodied. You
Yeah.
are, it's almost that vessel that's taking you everywhere. You're making money off it. You ought to give it that rest. You ought to give it that respect. So for me now, it's kind of boiling down, and it's a shift that has come to me now slowly, and probably something that I'm adapting to a little more, because I've realized even after all of these years of work, and even after whatever per se achievements, for myself also, or for the community has really happened, it still somewhere aches that, oh, you're not really looking great today. Maybe, actually just get that no surgery done, or maybe just get the lipo, and let's just think about it. So if you are having that thought somewhere, and I don't think it's entirely body positive. For me, I think so. Even something, the body positive aspect, more people really just think about it's about fat people accepting themselves. One of the differentiation, one of the biggest things that people need to understand, it's not just fat. It's about loving yourself at any size, shape, or kind of wherever you are right now. So
Right.
that's where I think I possibly lie in. But for me, my hair was like this biggest thing. For 6 years, I wanted to just dye it like blue and all other shades so that I could feel it felt like a little more me. Now that I'm too black because I want to fit in this constraint, and mom wants to look for a boy, and we need to look much more professional. I need to be more of a professor. More of my modeling jobs that are coming, they're like, madam, aapka look commercial nahi hai. So the way that it is happening on even at castings, I went black and I just don't feel myself. I just honestly can't wait to get back. So maybe a month or two and I'm going to be back to my blue hair, because it just doesn't feel like me. And people would say, something is up with her, but it genuinely doesn't feel like me. To me, this feels unnatural. And I think that's when you possibly understand and can embrace yourself as what body positivity is completely.
Yeah, I think I agree because, of course, you have your body and your body contains, all your organs for you to be living and healthy. And it's important to be fit, of course. Beyond that, of course, it also contains your soul, your mind, which gives you your personality, which gives you your demeanor, which gives you, your attitude, which is also very important. But somehow what is really focused on is you know your body positivity, that you should feel good about your body. Like, why should I only feel good about my body? I should also feel equally good about my personality. I should also feel equally good about my thought process, my approach towards life. There are so many things, there's so many aspects to a one whole person. So why only stick to, and my body is really, at the end of the day, it's only containing all of that together, right? So I should be okay with what my body is as long as it's healthy, it's fit, and it's sustaining me. I think beyond that, and not only to yourself, but I think also as a society, we also need to start looking beyond the body, right? Because there's so much more to a person. And of course, these conversations are now starting, and people like you are enabling these conversations. And like you said before, even if it's a small number, I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you, Rashid. I mean,
Really hats off to you.
I do actually want to ask you a question or two. She's like, मेरे platform पे आके मुझसे पूछ रही, but I do want to ask you. It should be like this. So I do want to know, where do you basically lie on this? How do you feel about it?
I personally feel like I have gone, from and I think it happens. I can't believe I'm saying with age, but I think it has happened over time. From being body conscious to being body positive, and I really feel that I am moving towards body or neutrality, because I think I now very consciously focus on my mental well-being, or how I'm approaching life, what are my life goals, more than probably just physical appearance. And also in terms of even approaching people, right? Even when I'm talking to people, even when I'm forming relationships with people, I think that's the mindset that I want to keep, and that's what I've also consciously started doing. And I think it's great because you just feel like it's that there's that such a shallow layer, right? That you're just sort of judging people by the way they look, or judging yourself by the way you look. It's just there's so much more to you. There's so much more to people that can offer. So absolutely, which is why when you spoke about body neutrality, I was like, I did not know that there's a term for this, and this is such a great school of thought.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We can basically pick out on every woman right now, and there's something that they have been nitpicked on. Being too thin, being too fat,
Too
having,
tall.
yeah, too tall, having specs. Like, अगर मेरी आंखें खराब है बचपन से तो मैं क्या करूं, मैं अंधी पैदा हुई. What is that? Why can't I have specs? मेरे को बोलते थे contact lens लगा for the longest time, and I was like, bro, I can't. Like, why do I have to chashmish and moti and lambi? Like, I couldn't wear heels for the longest time, and I think this is a conversation that even we've had.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be told not to wear heels because I would be too seen, too loud. Like, for the when I used to enter my classroom during the high school time, I would slouch and get in because I felt like I was just in this body of a gorilla. Now I know that I love gorilla and I'd rather be that. So I feel
You're like
like
the
that, like
animal.
entering. Yeah, I know, and all eyes on me. Whereas really, I think everyone is so self-absorbed, nobody's really looking at you. It's just so much in our head that
Yes,
अरे मैं लड़की
yes.
लग रही ये कैसे मुझे perceive करेंगे, that it gets to us, and that's where the conditioning really brings us. That's why it's so important कि पहले तो जाके अपने मम्मी पापा को हक करना है एंड बोलना है कि आपने किल कर दिया, बट कोई बात नहीं, it's all gonna be good, this is something that we should probably do with our parents. They need it more than us. We're having this conversation, they're probably not.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So off topic. I'm so sorry.
no, 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 of course not. So, no, I was actually thinking about something. So, Neelakshi, tell me what are some things that people should not say to a plump girl, which they
Oh my
might
god.
think that, oh, let me say this, and this is going to help her. What are some things that they should definitely like not say?
So it's not just about plum girl, it's just about really any girl. Think so,
Even better.
yeah, when they say basically, are you sure you're gonna wear that? Are you sure you don't want to get the salad, Like, what do you mean? Okay, so maybe it's something on those lines. Maybe you should try black, it's a slimming color. So even when you are trying that unwarranted piece of advice, whether it comes to clothing, food, just take a look. एक बार, just reiterate it in your head and think, what would that come out like? A lot of the times we don't imagine the vomit that is coming out of our mouth. We're just spewing it here and there, and it's like this. We say it as this Padosan auntie syndrome, I call it, because we just don't think about it and unwarranted advice on the road. But bro, is she asking for it? That's something that you want to think and you want to check on yourself. So I think anything to do really with there are some compliments that you can basically give which are not with appearances, which you can say, how are you feeling today? What's been the greatest part of your day? What are you looking forward to? So something that addresses on those lines, I think, are the conversation icebreakers that we can start with, or the conversations that we can start with, rather than, okay, oh, have you lost weight? It is not a compliment. I'm dying inside. Had anything. So we say nariyal pani ke alawa, I am dying, and you telling me that I've lost weight, like it's not helping me. So do not do that. Like then
Yeah.
it's going to wire me. Oh, I got that compliment that day. Maybe I should fast again, and then I'll be lying somewhere dehydrated. So do not do that, guys, please.
No, I think point noted. And I think these conversations, of course, will keep evolving, will keep changing, and especially with our generation, right? And we discussed this, like having these conversations with probably our grandparents is, it's not gonna like change a lot,
Yeah.
but I think we can be the change makers, and of course
Exactly.
it will happen. So Neelakshi, now let's talk a little bit about money.
Okay.
So clearly you're making money, right? And I think this is what we discussed, that so many other aspects to a person's personality. I mean, you're successful, you're doing well for yourself, you're happy. So of course, like, focus on those things and like not just the appearance. You're making money, which is sustaining you, which is keeping you happy. Uh, Tell me, what's the first thing? What do you associate money with?
Okay. So with money, really, there is this sense of confidence that you get. Okay. And I know that probably being at this single woman at 30s, and I keep on reiterating that because kahin na kahin even मैं घबरा रही हूँ बहुत सारी चीजों से. But there is this whole sense of confidence, whole sense of power that I have in my head because I know that I'm independent financially.
Right.
There is
Right.
my piece of rent that I give it to my dad. There are, investments that are being made in my name. I am still very bad at it. My dad and Sia are handling it, but yes, it's being done.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah.
I think we're just going to get like 5 top tips from Tashi that we need to know, and even my top, like my audience needs to know. So yeah, we'll get to that. So
Sure.
I think one of the things that we really, really do not talk about is what money feels like. It's often said to be really bad. Like if you are earning more than your potential husband, it's often seen as something that उससे बुरा तो नहीं लगेगा उसकी ego को
Girl
it's
is too
some
ambitious. Maybe
exact
not, may not be the right fit because the girl is too ambitious. Yeah.
ambitious is a word that has been used like this abuse for me that this Nilakshi is so ambitious for herself. Like look at the way that she is physically, look at the way that she walks around with no care in the world. She will travel wherever she wants to, she will pick up her bags and go. But I think there is I don't want to be dismissing the world, and there is no joy that I possibly get from okay, मैं अपने मम्मी पापा को गलत कर रही हूँ, मैं अपने रिश्तेदारों को. I'm not. I'm honestly, it probably must have started with that thought, but it has really mellowed down to making myself happy. Because
It must
once
have started with that thought.
no, it really did, Tashi, because it was probably to piss a lot of people that said you cannot do this.
Yeah.
And it did start with that. And then it went to like, but उनको तो वैसे भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. They will say whatever they want to. So might as well just start doing it for myself and
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
actually enjoy it. So I think that is where, money really enables you to make a lot of your own decisions. And that is some things that we are not really taught, right? I mean, the only thing that I possibly knew by my 10th or 12th grade was to sign a check. Matlab, sign even right now, if you see my signature, it's most kiddish in the world. Like, I'm like, who teaches you how to sign? How do you make your own bloody signature? Who will tell you? Okay. So, for me, being lost at a bank and, doing all of all of that sensibility came to when I actually opened up and my blog, and people were like, oh, we're going to get endorsements with you. You have to send your invoice. And I'm like, how the hell do you make an invoice? Who's going to, what is a TDS? How is that handled? And then came in another business venture that I started for my clothing line. And then people were like, oh, you've got to, register yourself. You've got to have a joint account. What is your tax saving thing going to be? Have you looked out for loans? Is there a support that you can get as a woman? And I'm like, who will tell us that? So all of that really comes from educating yourself from time to time. As
Right.
much as probably I think the importance that has probably been given to geography and history and civics, that kind of not being put to use. I wish we had some sex education and financial literacy. Like I genuinely think that अगर
Very,
ये
very
होता ना,
well put.
literally अगर ये होता ना, I would
For
have
them,
been so
definitely.
much
Yeah.
lost at so many levels in my life. Like I would have just been so much more confident and knew what to do probably in the next step, which I even don't. Like even now, I need to have like a second consult with my dad, or I immediately need to call up my CA and ask you what is really happening. So I think that is where platforms like you come in and are actually helping us, because I mean, I'm not saying guys just whosoever's here and whosoever's listening. I'm not just saying it because of been enabled here. But the thought of just being listening and कि oh हम भी invest कर सकते हैं, and we can actually save up and compound our savings. It's
Yeah,
never really taught to
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Where does that?
And then you think about it, then why am I not doing it? Like, why have I not been doing it till now? Like, why has the thought never even occurred to me that, hey, I can actually do it myself when there are 100 different things in my life that I take charge of? So why don't I invest and grow my own money? So you're absolutely right about that. And yes, Lakshmi platforms like Lakshmi are actually enabling women to, have these conversations. And, like there are safe spaces for women to talk about a lot of different things. And, body positivity or body neutrality is one such topic as well, which, a lot of women like to discuss in a very non-judgmental, safe space.
Yeah.
So similarly, even to discuss money matters, have money conversations, we've actually created a community which is really at the heart of Lakshmi, right? It's called Being Lakshmi. It's a group on Facebook. It's a closed group where women come together and really have conversations around money management, because there is so much fear of judgment. There is so much fear of, that there's so much lack of confidence that, this may be a very stupid question. I don't want to go up to a guy and ask this, like not even probably my husband, or he's actually
Yeah,
going to judge me that,
yeah.
oh my God, it's kuch bhi nahi pata hai about money management, right? So we've created this platform, and the kind of conversations that happen are just so amazing to see, because women have so many questions. It's not like they're probably not thinking about managing or investing their money, but they really
Just
don't
don't
know
know.
where to start. They don't know where to have those conversations, where to get answers. So definitely, I think Lakshmi is here to help you as well, so that you start managing your money, start managing your dad's money also. Tell him that, you know what, let's just
That
leave it
is
up to
going to
me.
happen. In by Jan, he's retiring, and I'm like, bus ho gaya. I'm the boss of the house now. Okay, like get it over with. Your reign is done. So that is something that I've been talking. But he's like, better speak to and I'm like, get into it. So if I were to ask Tashi, I love doing this. I love asking the questions.
Okay,
If I
okay.
were to ask like those 5 top tips that probably if I have no idea, even as a college girl, because a lot of college students here really follow me. Where do I really start saving? What chunk can I think? Because I get this limited amount of pocket money. Where should I be putting it? What would your advice to be that?
So, I think first of all, a lot of people think that, investing is for people who have a lot of money, which is a very big misconception, because, people actually in the entire financial industry tends to pitch it as wealth creation and, the art of investing. It's actually not that difficult. It's not rocket science, and it's not rocket science for you, because there are a lot of platforms available that actually simplify it for you, right? So the work that you have to do is really hassle free. So you can start with a minimum of 100 rupees also. You can start by investing 500 rupees. The objective is that you start growing the money that you already have. Let the money keep growing. So for example, if you keep your money, if you're even able to save say 3,000 rupees in a month, right? And you keep it in your savings bank account, or you keep it as cash, it's hardly going to grow. But for
Yeah,
example, if you keep it in an FD or a PPF, it'll actually grow by say close to 8% year on year. All right.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you keep it in mutual funds over a long term duration, it actually may have the potential to target say a 14 to 15% return also. So
Absolutely.
year
Yeah.
on year, your money is growing. And it's not only about growing your money, but an important thing is also to keep in mind inflation, which is basically mehengai, right?
Which
So
is what
all
I
this,
was going to ask.
yeah,
There is this whole line that we are basically earning to beat the inflation. What does
yes,
that mean?
yes, yes. So that basically means, in any job that you're doing, right? And all the college students also, like eventually you're going to graduate and you're going to get your job. What is the increment that you can expect year on year? 10%. Like, 10% is a good enough increment in case you're not thinking of switching jobs, right? The inflation figure that the government actually takes out is close to say 5 to 6%, but that is not really for people like us. That is for people whose primary salary or earnings goes into catering for their basic needs. So for people like us who spend on shopping, on entertainment, on, you know, lifestyle purchases, etc., the inflation is actually above 8 to 9%, right?
Oh, damn.
So yeah, so which is why if you're actually getting, if you're you know, you're year on year, even if you're making say 10% more, your lifestyle expenses are also increasing by that amount. So it's not like you're actually saving any money, you're just keeping up with inflation.
Exactly.
So which is why it's very
This
important to
is very
invest your
worrying. Okay.
money, grow your money, so that you're actually making more than inflation also over a period of time. And at some point, even if you're in college right now, there's going to be a time, say 30 years down the line, 40 years down the line, when after working you will retire, right? And your income will stop flowing in. So you should always start preparing for that right when you get a job. So the more time you invest for, the bigger amount you would have saved for your retirement. And then if you want to retire early, you can do that also. So I think these are the things that, you know, actually when you said there are a lot of college students who follow you, I think this is something which is this is something very useful for them, because the younger you start when it comes to investing, the better it is, the better results you see.
But that is the thing, right? Like money, just the financial bit, like just the talk of it. Now, I think the very first thing that we've possibly dismissed here is that you just need to start very small. It could be 100 rupees, it could be 500 rupees.
Yeah.
That is something that I think a lot of us, including me, I would just like put it aside and put it in one side of my locker and imagine,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'll come. So that is why we like the whole surprise कि कहीं छुपा दिया और एकदम से पैसे मिल गए and you're like, okay, happy, I've saved it. So that is not saving, guys. Do not
Yeah.
be like Neelakshi, be like Lakshmi. Okay, go on and learn and realize that
I know.
just
Now
not.
imagine if you actually find that money after 10 years and it's actually even grown. It's not actually just finding, you know, the 500,000 rupees that you kept somewhere, but it's actually now even grown. Imagine the joy of that.
I know. So that I think is one of the biggest. And now I actually get it. The whole stereotype breaking, even with money and everything,
Yes.
definitely makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. And women also, you know, they make better money managers. Historically, if you look at the returns that women have made as compared to men, because they have a very disciplined approach towards investing, because they're very patient inherently, they tend to make better investors. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping us from actually taking charge of our money and investing it and growing it. And these conversations really need to start now. Like
It
body
does.
neutrality. I think, are you going to change your bio to body
I
neutrality now?
think so. I
I
think
think
so.
you
I'm going to
should,
lose out
yeah.
on a. I think I've got to lose out on a lot
I think
of
Bopo
jobs.
is very 2020.
Oh my god! I think I'm going to just put like Bopo and like copyright it to Tashi.
You must trademark it, I'm telling you, Bopo. This is like, yeah. I think this was the key takeaway from today's
It
discussion.
did. It really was. And I was like, I will never get over it. And after I had that conversation, I was like, okay, what did I just say? But okay, it's out there now, guys, you know. So I do want to ask one last question.
Yes, please.
Is it open to anybody, this group? Can anybody join in as long as they want to, learn about it? Like women, we're talking about the girls. Anybody, is it open to them?
Yes, this group is open to all women, and like I said, it's only for women because you know, because we want to create a safe community, a very healthy and safe community. Because again, you know, there's a reason a man is going to come in and start mansplaining. that अरे मैं बताता हूँ SBI के फंड में इन्वेस्ट करो इतना इतना रिटर्न मिलेगा खत्म listen to me this is what needs to be done. So which is why we've created a community only for women. Even if you're not earning right now, someone asked how can I save money if I'm
Yeah.
not earning, if I'm getting pocket money only. I don't even get pocket money. Okay, I don't know.
I have an idea. So here you basically जो पैसे मिलते हैं ना हमें where हमारे रिश्तेदार आके हमें बोलते हैं कि बेटा चॉकलेट खा लेना
Absolutely, yeah,
वो
that
वाले
thing.
पैसे बताओ.
Yeah, वो वाले पैसे बचाओ. Of course, you can start growing that money. So the whole point is that, and not only actually, you know, even if you're not earning right now, there are a lot of conversations that happen around how do you create multiple income streams. So
Yeah,
right from earning, saving, spending to investing, the entire gamut of things, all conversations related to money, right? How do you
that
even
is
earn more
so
money?
good.
To answer your
That is so
question, you just asked.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, because there are so many women there's so many women who tend to take career breaks. There's so many like women in college right now who are not earning but want to get independent, start making their own money. So we also have a lot of conversations, expert sessions, on also how you can create multiple income streams and then maximize your earnings, and then of course save, spend, and invest accordingly. So
So there's,
yes,
I
you can
think,
join
one
the
more
group.
question here.
Yeah. Sorry, what's the question?
I'm one earning person for the whole family, so how can I kind of save money? She's the sole breadwinner for the family, basically.
She. I don't know. They're asking, can I? I'm the only earning person of the family. Of course, you can join the community. Absolutely. And
No,
it's very important to have your financial goals set. It's like, first build your emergency fund, which is your rainy day kitty, right? God forsake, if
mhm,
something
mhm.
happens, you should have that money handy. Build your retirement fund because you will 100% need that money. Get health insurance because, again, you don't want to break your bank if there is any unforeseen medical expense that comes, not only for you but also get insurance for your family. And then of
Yeah,
course, if you're an earning member, then you get life insurance. So once you have all of these things in place is when then you start planning for all your other goals.
got it. So I think I've been sorted in all of these four aspects. Probably that's why I'm going to go and hug my dad, but definitely looking at more from the investment side because I would want to look at mutual investments and to look at, probably what I do know what I want to do for my retirement, but definitely something worth investing and multiplying is what I want to look at. So I'm definitely joining in.
Yes, please. And we also have an app. You can download it where, we have a lot of content around money management. We have a very interesting learn course where you can learn about, what I just said, about the four pillars of financial planning, different. A lot of people don't even understand stocks kya hai,
Yeah.
mutual funds risky hai. So we've actually broken down all of these definitions in the form of very short stories, so it's really like you're reading a short story before going to bed or, while
Amazing.
having your evening chai. So you can
That's
definitely, yeah, you can learn a lot on the app. So it's a journey, right? You read, you learn, and only then you invest through the app. So be informed when you're making your investment
that.
decision.
Being informed really about
Yes.
everything, guys.
Yes. All right. Which app? Kya Khayali? It's the Lxme app, Lxme. That's Lakshmi. And this is a financial planning platform for women. So you can download it, go through it, and take charge of your money. And I am very excited about this body neutrality thing, and I really feel like you should be having more conversations around this.
I will now. Like this is also something. So again, just loving your body is also going to be a continuous process. We're going to feel very differently about our body, and it's going to be changing. So now I may not be obsessing over the kind of weight and everything, but more about okay, there's a new problem. There's crow's feet happening. So what about that? So I think it's going to be acceptance of a lot of different things at different point of times, and that's where the body neutrality part really comes into
Yeah,
play.
because
And
like every morning, when I wake up and I look at myself in the mirror, I don't necessarily have to be like, oh my god, beautiful. I will
yeah, like,
just
oh
be
my
like,
God, you're
oh my god,
beautiful.
like calm, like that's good, that's how you should be, and you should get happy about that rather than just being like, oh my god, so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think definitely, I think biggest takeaway तो ये हुआ. उसके बाद तो we know what I have to trademark and all we're talking about. But I am actually pretty glad this conversation happened. I learned so much. So thank you, Tashi.
So did I, Neelakshi. Thank you, and I'm sure all the viewers also did. And next time you look into the mirror, just be like, wow, so calm. Like, who is this person? How is she so sorted? Isn't that amazing?
How's she doing?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right. Thanks, Neelakshi. Thank you so much for coming live with us and unstereotyping Bopo. It was a pleasure. It's going to stay with me for a while. I
I'm
really
so
enjoyed saying it.
Thank you, Kashi. Thank you, Preeti. I saw her in the live also. She was continuously like educating even the audience that was here. So it was very interesting. I love how close knit this team is, and we're continuously working towards one goal. So thank you guys for it. Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a good night. Bye,
Good night, guys.
Neelakshi.
Bye bye. Bye.